reverse racism has been thrown out. Can you describe that, or describe what they think that is? That I've never had anyone accurately describe what that is.
Exactly
what is that?
I'll tell you exactly what it is. Reverse racism is white people getting their feelings hurt because when you're used to being privileged and things become equitable, it feels like you've lost something. That's all that is. White people all up in their feelings because they're no longer privileged. Now they have to share that privilege with everybody else, and it feels like they're being harmed.
You need to have power in order to be racist, and brown, black, indigenous, Asian, Latino people do not have power over white people. It is not possible. It's intellectually dishonest, which is a euphemism for a lie. So reverse racism is a lie. It's a white lie.
What's a Karen from your perspective?
All white women are Karens. So what does that mean? All white women have white power and white privilege. And the way you choose to wield your white power is the kind of Karen you are. So what we see all the time is the Karen videos. So are you most white women, I think, are not the Karens who are calling the cops on black men bird watching in Central Park or black people sitting, in Starbucks having a coffee. Most Karens are in the boardroom, silent. Most Karens are in schools, silent as their other white women are calling out critical race theory, banning books. They're just sitting silently, So Karen and white power being weaponized shows up typically in whispers and hushes. So it's not so dramatic, but that's why white women love sharing these viral Karen videos. It's to distance themselves. Look at that, not me. It is, here's my challenge to every white woman watching this. The next time you see a Karen video go viral, why don't you take a second and see how you're more like her rather than how you're less like her? That's my challenge to white women.
And my challenge to white women is speak up. Use your voice. Do not ever let your feelings be more important than someone else's pain and suffering. They're not synonymous. Your feelings are not synonymous with other people's pain and suffering. Your feelings are a message to you from the universe to look inside.
Beautifully said. I would imagine, I know it's been written about, Saira, specifically the threats that you've received, and I would imagine they're, similar to you, Regina. Talk about having to navigate those spaces. Has there, been fear for your family, yet you still persist and do this necessary work?
Yes, of course, there's lots of fear, but remaining silent won't save my family.
That's right.
It's ahistorical to think that being silent is going to save you. So random black people, indigenous people, Latino people, Asian people are getting beaten and murdered every day. So whether or not you stay silent doesn't save you. So I challenge everybody to start speaking up. Regina talks about this all the time. Silence, silence, silence. Start speaking up. Nobody is safe. Nobody is safe. Nobody is free until we're all safe and all free. And right now we are very far from it. So speak up, use your voice. And yes, I'm afraid for my family, but I would be afraid for my family if I wasn't doing this work.
Yeah. What kind of threats, what things have happened?
Drowning my kids in the Ganges, using my family as target practice. I mean, the amount of epithets that we get is just, it would make your head. You can understand this. You, I'm sure, have gotten threats for just doing a moderating panel. I mean, this is how fragile these white people are. White fragility is also white supremacy. That's another touchy-feely word for white supremacy. But it's just violent, what the violent things that they're envisioning doing, sometimes with images. One time I got a picture of a beheaded Ilhan Omar, and you're next, that kind of thing. Just regular DMs, what everyone gets.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you a story. My adult children, we were up in the mountains this weekend, and my son says, "How come you didn't tell us about this book signing?" And I had to fess up. I said, "Actually, I did not want you guys to be targets because of your relationship with me. I did not want that to happen."
But that's heartbreaking. This is a joyous moment for you all, a celebratory time. You're here in Denver where it all started, and to think that you can't have your family there, that's terrible.
Well, they're going to remain anonymous.
But her family can't even be safe walking around anyway, you know? Whether or not they have a relationship with Regina, that's the whole point. Black people are not safe in this country. Brown people are not safe in this country.
You've said you do this work because your lives depend on it. Your children's, your grandchildren's lives depend on that.
Your life depends on it. White women's lives, their children's lives depend on it. We have got to stop making everything in this country about money and profit. We've got to stop it.
White women are more afraid of not getting invited to a cocktail party than they are about their own racism and the future of their kids. If that wasn't the case, we would have shut down guns in this country after Columbine.
Yeah.
And instead, we have more guns now than people. So as you know, as long as you're more concerned about what people think of you and being invited to parties than you are about oppression and violence, it will continue. And right now, we're in a position where Roe versus Wade is over, and white women are still like, why didn't I get invited to that holiday party? That's what they're worried about. Stop. Just stop. Wake up. What's wrong with you?
Talk to me. Talk to Black and brown women who, I mean, snap fingers to every syllable that comes out of your mouths, but it's scary to do this, to jump in that space. What does this mean for me at work? What does this mean for me at my child's school if I'm vocal? How do we as women of color get into this anti-racism world?
Well, you know, I believe you just do it. You do it, and you do it especially if you're a mother. And I came out of corporate America, so I know what it was like in corporate America. But, you know, have a voice. The reason you have a voice is so that you can use it, okay? Use your voice. And what I found so important to me individually was having very powerful mentors. You know, people, and usually they were men, who protected you, who made opportunities for you, who, you know, helped you, and that's important.
Look, just like women can't dismantle misogyny, men have to dismantle misogyny. Men created misogyny, men benefit from misogyny until they don't. They have to dismantle misogyny. So too, white people created white supremacy and benefit from white supremacy until they don't anymore, and we're seeing that now. White people have to dismantle white supremacy, period. Effectively, that's the deal. I do not blame Black, Indigenous, and brown women for not doing this work. I do not blame our own people for not doing this work because it is scary, it is dangerous. It's 1,000 times more dangerous for us than it is for white people. And I am calling on all white people to step up and do this work. The weight of the world cannot be on our shoulders all the time. And we don't have the power to overturn it anyway. I'm tired of white people wearing their BLM shirts, wearing their End Asian Hate shirts, right? And then when it comes time to speaking up for a Black woman at work, or an Asian woman at work, or a Latina woman at work, silent, silent, silent. So keep your shirts at home, keep your lemonade stands at home, and start showing up at work. That's what we would like you to do.
Yeah. And you know, in all my years in corporate, almost 30 years, I never had a woman mentor. It was always men who would mentor me. And there were, and white women will say to us, it's our turn, you guys can wait. When I know that they got where they got on the back of Black people, on the backs of people who look like me. That's how white women got ahead. So, you know, stop saying, wait our turn, and help us, mentor us, support us, open doors for us.
You know what's funny, haha, not really, is at every one of these dinners, a white woman will give away that she doesn't see us as women. So at least one of them will say something to the effect of, well, you don't understand like what it's like for us to be a woman. And we're like, well, kind of do. We have a pretty good idea. And we're like, we deal with sexism from our own men. We deal with sexism from white men, and we deal with your nonsense, your racist nonsense, and your white men's nonsense. We have layers and layers of this nonsense. Yeah. But we had a dinner, shame on us, 3 days after January 6th happened. And it was with a crew of white ladies in Denver, like really, you know, CEOs and heads of nonprofits. And we were talking about how the 19th Amendment, we're supposed to celebrate the woman's right to vote. We couldn't have voted back then.
No,
it wasn't until the Voting Rights Act that, black and brown women could vote. And she said, well, I mean, first it's our turn. She literally said, well, first it's our turn and then it's yours. And that's what's amazing. And here's why I think people feel safe. You can scour our social media. We will never talk about a white woman specifically from a dinner. Nobody has ever been outed. There is no shaming. If you feel shame, that's on you. If you feel shame from white history, that's on you. But even in the book, we've changed the names of the white women, not just to protect them, but also it's not personal. They're all the same. They're all Karens. So it doesn't matter if you're Karen or Becky or Anna or Ann or Megan or Meggie. It's all the same. It's white womanhood. That's what it is. Stop taking everything so personally.
Yeah. I always talk about how I can't remember in my adult life ever having a black woman say to me that I hurt their feelings. That's all we ever hear from white women is, you hurt my feelings. Go sit down.
Back when I was still a white woman, I used to be a white woman trapped in a brown body. And I said to Regina, are you mad at me? And she goes, if I was going to talk about you, I don't need your back
to talk about you. I can talk about you to your face.
But yeah, white women love to talk about how they're trying to lose weight. Right? Someone said famously, if white women focused on eradicating racism like they did losing weight, we would have been done with this centuries ago, right? Then they also like to talk about each other. So if one person gets up to go to the bathroom, I feel bad for that woman who's gotten up to go to the bathroom because they're talking nonsense. But that's it, right? Like that's their relationship is being catty because everyone is fighting to be the most perfect. And if you're fighting to be the most perfect, you're in constant competition. So what we always say is love each other. Love yourselves and love each other, and then you can worry about us. But you can't even get to this until you stop competing with each other. And that's all white women do is compete, compete, compete. Aren't you tired of competing? Aren't you tired of trying to be perfect? And that's white supremacy culture. White women being super nice. Being nice means being silent in the face of oppression. That's what being nice is, not talking about politics at the dinner table. Being perfect is you have to compete. That is the whole definitionally what being perfect is. And enough of that. Stop that. Stop that in your own lives, and you can worry about everyone else afterwards. Put your own oxygen mask on first.